The Villain's Demand reviews Daredevil from Marvel Comics.
Hey guys, this is The Villain's Demand. I'm Evan the Great. This is Justin Von Doom. Today we're giving you all another comic book review over Daredevils, issue 1 through 5, volume 5, all new Marvel.
In this story, we've got Daredevil and he's training a new protege as seen on the cover of issue 1. If you were everybody like I was, you're curious, who was this new guy? Well, if you read all new, all different Marvel, we find out this guy's named Blindspot. But, you read that combined with this, there's a church called the Sheltering Hands in Hell's Kitchen that's come up, and it's ran by a man named Tenfingers. And we kid you not, he literally has 10 fingers on each hand. Daredevil's also, at the time, curious about these guys too, as he's training Blindspot. They're getting all these people that are based in Chinatown. They're taking Chinatown's people that don't have anything, and Tenfingers is giving them promises of saving them. And Daredevil, who is now working for the DA in New York, sees that this is a problem. With the help of Blindspot, he's trying to exploit the church Sheltering Hands, and the book starts out, he gets this witness, him and Blindspot does, that works for the Hand, and he's using this to bring Tenfingers to the attention of the media and whatnot. And as a court date is being set up, they're going to court. Tenfingers' men gets a hold of this guy, I think his name is Bobby Lee, and they cut off 2 of his fingers, and he decides he's not going to do it. So that leads Daredevil and Blindspot to take on Tenfingers head on. Eventually Tenfingers meets up with them and is trying to explain to Matt that he feels that he's not doing anything wrong. He literally wants to save these people. Book ends with a big brawl in the Church of Sheltering Hands, which you've already figured out. The first time Daredevil and Blindspot was there, the Hand showed up, so you kind of know something bad is going to happen with the Hand. They send a being called the Fist to attack Tenfingers, and Tenfingers at the end of this book is seen merging into the wall, almost into the shape of a hand with fingers. All the people realize that he was wrong, and well, as usual, Daredevil and his new protege Blindspot saved the day.
Yeah, and going on what he said, broke the story down nicely for us. There was 2 characters that are new. I want to talk about the bad guy first. We're going to talk about Tenfingers.
Before we start,
yes.
Did you not, this was me personally, just looking at him because he's of Oriental descent, did you not think that this was going to turn out to be the Mandarin?
He acts like the Mandarin.
I really thought that he was going to be the
like
Mandarin.
The Mandarin kinda.
Yeah, I really thought he was going to be the Mandarin, and I'm kind of glad he wasn't.
Yeah.
But continue on.
So they call him Tenfingers because he, like you said, he literally has 10 fingers on each hand. Tenfingers is the ruler of the Church of the Sheltering Hand. Like he said, he brings people in, promises them, I want to make you better, I want to make you somebody.
It's literally like a church, because they're taking donations, and the whole reason this gets brought to light with Daredevil is they're wondering where all this money and whatnot's going.
And then you find out why he's called Tenfingers. He has a power. He has some kind of power that imbues himself, and he can give it to others as well. Come to find out, he stole these powers from the Hand. It don't say how he stole it or what it is, but it's enough that the Hand send the Fist. Well, first they send the regular Hand there, and Daredevil's there, and it's an awesome scene. They get into a combat situation, and Daredevil has to fight the Hand off because they're going to kill. So then, after that, Tenfingers tells all the people, see, I told you, you'll be safe, and he preaches the word. And Daredevil's pissed at him, tells him the Hand are not done, they're going to come back. Well, they do. They come back with a vengeance. They send the Fist, which I've never heard of the Fist. So reading this, the Fist is badass. They have to sacrifice 100 hand ninjas just to make this guy, or this monster.
Yes, just to bring this beast forward.
And he's awesome. He's so powerful. Him and Daredevil throw down later on, but he's coming after Tenfingers, and they get that whole story. But that's all Tenfingers is. He turns out to be like a preacher type character, giving power away. In the end, he stole the power, he's losing power, and he runs like a coward.
I thought he was very strange for doing that. Just like when they said Tenfingers, I'm like, because when you read the book, they're talking about Tenfingers. You don't see him at first. Yeah. So right off the bat, I really thought maybe that was something more oriental. And when you see him, you don't expect him to literally have 10 fingers on each hand. And it doesn't really, like I said, it doesn't really explain why he got that. And it's almost comical in a sense because when the hand and stuff are attacking, and I think it happens when the fist attacks, he opens up a cabinet with guns, and there is 2 pistols with 9 triggers. Because, you know, you gotta have, you know, your thumb doesn't go and, you know, hit the trigger. And I thought that was weird. I'm like, wow. I mean, well, I can see we're like, oh, if you cut off a trigger,
one barrel, I'm like, all the bullets ain't go out there.
Yeah, you expected something cool to happen with those. No, it's almost as ridiculous as him having 10 fingers. But he keeps with his church the theme of fingers because Blindspot's mom's in the church, and that's his whole thing for wanting to take down the church because he's already been in the church. It's almost like Daredevil is using him for infiltration, and you see throughout the book some of the thugs calling each other no fingers, 2 fingers. And literally, that's what you're almost like your level of the church is because Blindspot's mom is an 8 finger.
Yeah,
and it's kind of strange. And 10 fingers for punishment takes your fingers.
I guess if you gain fingers, you gain power.
Yeah, literally, because his mom had.
So like, start flipping off everybody I like.
Well, like, how would you flip somebody off with 10 fingers?
If you give them a finger, they become more powerful.
Oh, well, it's still like weird. Because think about it. I mean, when you flip somebody off, you flip them off with your middle finger. Well, if you have 10 fingers and you flip somebody off, you got 4 on them hanging off one side. It's strange. It's just like this character. I didn't expect him to live throughout this book. You knew something was going to happen to him because I automatically thought the hand's involved with this. And what's strange is they kind of leave you hanging on the end because he's talking about how he can still save the people because he's putting them downstairs. And he tells 8 Fingers, which is Blindspot's mom, and her little crew of, like, his bodyguards to kill them because they can't be witness to his failure. And where he's like, I can still save them, I can still save them. There's this voice talking to him, telling him that it's beautiful, that he's beautiful, but they can do better. And then obviously he's scared because he knows this is bad for him. And the next time you see him when Daredevil walks up, it's almost like there's a hand merged with the wall and he is part of it, and it's all fingers. And it's really weird. And I don't know what that could be. Who's talking to him? It's very interesting because obviously it's not the hand.
Yeah.
Because the hand was there to kill him, to get their power back. I thought it was weird that they didn't. He didn't explain what he did for the hand. He just worked for the hand.
Yeah.
I figured there was a little bit more there you could have done with the character to explain, you know, like, what he done with the hand and how did he steal this power? Mm-hmm. And how did he run around this long without the hand coming after him sooner?
Yeah, the hand always comes after you.
Exactly. The other character, which is new, a new hero, which I expect probably to see more of, is Blindspot. They kind of briefly give you his origin in this book. If you want to read a kind of like a whole origin, read the all new, all different Marvel .1 from 2015. Kind of gives you a breakdown after Secret Wars with some books that Marvel is advertising in the whole thing. And basically, Blindspot at the age of 12 created an invisibility suit. It's really neat how they play that with Daredevil because Daredevil can still see.
Yeah.
But he was at the University of Columbia. He was making deals with. He's a janitor. He was making deals with the professors there so he could audit their rooms just so he could find the gear he needed to make this suit. And basically, he's kind of a genius in a way. They don't show you that his genius level compared to like Amadeus Chow in a sense. They play him up that he's very, very smart, that he builds this suit. The only bad thing is the suit runs on batteries.
Yeah.
And like he says, batteries are expensive. He's not trained. He's a brand new hero, which is kind of refreshing. You get to see a hero start from, you know, the groundwork up.
Yeah.
And in that book, which you haven't read, he's been doing this for a while as Blindspot because he's wanting to stop the Church of Sheltering Hands because, you know, his mom's involved. And he's been looking for a hero for a while. And just one day, his sister just wakes him up early in the morning. He's got to go to work and he can't sleep. And he's like, well, I guess I'm going to go out, see what I can't find. And lo and behold, he finds Daredevil. fighting some heroes, and that part of that book ends with he's very surprised that Daredevil can see.
Yeah.
Why? Because Daredevil sees people off of his radar sense. So, what you think about Blindspot?
Blindspot is one of the coolest new characters I've read in a long time. I really think this character has a lot of potential. Like Batman, Robin type potential. I really think he could be Daredevil's sidekick for real, even though he don't want to be called a sidekick.
Yeah, I forgot they even kind of brought
And
that up.
his Bloodhaven is Chinatown. But it's, I kind of see it like that. That's the way I see it anyway.
I like it because it plays off of Daredevil not being able to see people, and
it's really cool that he can see him, but he's invisible because he's Daredevil.
And their whole relationship is going to be built on trust, and that's the whole thing Daredevil gets within this book is trust. Because Captain America's in the book, and he talks about trust in Captain America, trust in Blindspot, and it's really nice because Blindspot knows he's invisible, but for some reason he doesn't understand how Daredevil can see him. So there's a lot that's going to play in with these two characters in the future.
And I like Steve Rogers' appearance in the book. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I always like when you get a little team up with Captain America and Daredevil, even though it's not a team up per se.
He worked with him. It was kind of neat.
And and he also gave Blindspot his stamp of approval to Captain America because he's an illegal immigrant. He can't even be in the country.
Yeah.
So I could see in the future where Captain America works with Daredevil to help him gain citizenship, seeing that he's this new young hero. Other than that, I don't see either one of these guys as the high point for the book. I see the high point of this book is Daredevil. They play on Daredevil's blindness as actually showing what it is, a weakness.
Yes. And
I think they do a really, really good job with that in this book. And the biggest thing is water.
Yes.
Daredevil jumps in, I'm going to assume it's the guy to be the Hudson, to save Bobby Lee at the beginning of the book. And it literally shows you how bad being underwater plays on his senses. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, because all of his senses, all his other senses besides sight, they work normal. But in water, you got to think, I never thought about it like that. They're all effed up. You can't smell in water, you can't taste, you can't talk, you can't really hear.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it would mess him up bad.
And I thought that was really neat because I hate to bring this up with the Daredevil movie. When it rains and they show you how he sees things and based off sound practically. And then, they took that with the water and... Because really, I mean, even being normal person being underwater messes you up. I can only imagine with heightened senses how bad that would mess you up. And they really do a good job on describing that.
Yes, they do. That's got to be the most. That's his fear now, I believe, is water.
He's a man without fear. He don't feel water. The other thing they also play into is being blind and not being able to see, also being colorblind to a degree. Seeing things that's another thing they touch on with his senses. Instead of playing his senses of being great, and this is why Daredevil's so awesome. They also show you how much of a weakness it is too.
Yes.
And later on in the book, when he's working with Captain America, there's this bomb, and Captain America's like, "How much time does it have?" And he's like, "Crap." Because he can't read the time on the clock. And he's like, well, and then he tells him what's up with the bomb. He's like, oh, I know what this is. He's like, cut this wire. He can't tell what color the wires are. So it's really nice, especially how he diffuses the bomb. He takes the guy that built it, and he's like, disarm it. It's about to blow.
Yeah.
So they really did a really good job of making Daredevil seem weak in the book instead of strong. And it's a really nice play on heroes because heroes are always about being able to do what they need to do to overcome, and here it is, the simplest of things are his downfall.
And this is a real weakness, unlike kryptonite. Like, what's this make? I'm just comparing it to like another weakness that a superhero would have. You got like kryptonite or what is it? Color yellow for Green Lantern.
Yeah, I added. Yeah,
they were all like, I'm just saying, they were dumb ones. This actually makes a lot of sense.
It does, and I don't think it's anything. I'm not the biggest reader on Daredevil. I have read quite a bit of Daredevil. I've never seen anything like this playing a book. It's really different, really refreshing to see how a guy who relies on his senses actually needs his sight at times.
Yes.
and makes me wonder. And I'd hate to see it like that, but you know, what if something happens to where he can't see? What if Blindspot makes it work? Because they play up on they're trying to play up on his genius here. Eventually, you know, it's going to come to a point where he has to be able to see things.
I think that would take a lot away from Daredevil.
Yeah, and I don't want that. I'm just saying, but
because his whole fighting skill and his whole everything is based on sight, you know, not sight, but you know, sound, hearing techniques, reading heartbeats.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't do that if he could see, and it might mess him completely up.
Well, but see, now I think they're showing you that Daredevil powers are going to have to rely more on trust.
Yes.
He needs somebody there to trust. And he brings that a lot with Steve Rogers because early the beginning of the last run of Daredevil, and I haven't finished it up, but after Secret Wars, it's 8 months, you know, and no one can remember those 8 months. Obviously, no one now knows that he's Daredevil. That Matt Murdock and Daredevil are the same person.
I was wondering what that was, why he didn't know.
Well, like I said, I don't know if it's anything in the book before or if it's just a Secret Wars thing, because there has been things that's come up after Secret Wars that's changed a lot of things. And this is the biggest thing, is no one knows he's Daredevil. And now it's, who can I trust that I'm this person? Because when I was reading Daredevil and this happened, really wreaked a lot of havoc on his life, you know, and to the point where Iron Fist had to be Daredevil there for a while, just to fool people, to let them know that, hey, Matt Murdock can not be Daredevil. He's in prison and Daredevil's running around Hell's Kitchen. So trust is a big thing, and it's who is he going to trust. And it's almost like his new power will be trust, because he's going to have somebody there in these situations to help him out.
I definitely agree with the trust aspect, him and Blindspot working together. I can see this book going a long way. I mean, overall, you got a pretty decent setup. They kind of left you hanging. You get to see a few new things come in, new characters. They play on his weaknesses. All that stuff in just 5 issues. So, man. And I found out something interesting. I did not know that Charles Soule, the writer of this book, used to be a attorney or law.
Really? I didn't know.
I don't know if that's true, but I was telling somebody at work, I was reading Daredevil, and they actually brought that up. And I was like, I haven't Googled it, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it's actually kind of interesting.
Oh, damn, I thought you were doing some homework there.
I might have, but it makes sense that they would get a writer like this to write him, and that's when, and then when I found that out, I really dug into the book, and I'm like, hey, I want to see how much of this law stuff he puts in. Says, I feel in the future you might get more of the Matt Murdock trying to work as, you know, a good DA agent instead of a bad one.
Well, that would be good, yeah, because you just said he's a DA now. He's part of the district's attorney.
I will check that out, and I will post that if I'm wrong. But I've been told that, and I'm just interested.
Yeah, that's something to look up on. But other than that, that probably wraps up the majority of the book. We're The Villain's Man, JVD Justin Von Doom. He's Evan the Great. Keep reading, guys.